Hello everyone, welcome to Lounge Talk with Miss Sunita. Lounge Talk is a weekly expression of opinions, ideas, and experiences from individuals making an impact in this world. The idea of Lounge Talk is to showcase the extraordinary steps these individuals have taken to make an impact in their world. Lounge Talk with Miss Sunita. Today in the lounge I'm with Ngambu Samalesu, the founder of Garros Outside Catering. How are you?
I'm fine.
Welcome. It's good to have you in the lounge.
Yes, I'm happy as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us more about yourself.
Okay. As she mentioned, my name is Ngambu Samalesu, the CEO of Garros Outside Catering and Food Supply. I'm the firstborn in the family of 6. Yes, and I did my secondary school, I would say, at Chifugo High School. And then from Chifugo High School, I went to Zip College. That's where I did my food production. Yes.
But the issue of catering, has it been there since childhood?
Yes, it has been there since childhood, I would say. And as for me, I never saw it in myself, but my father saw that in me. Because even the time I went to school, to Zip to do food production, it wasn't for my idea. Okay. I wanted to do vet, but my dad wanted me to do food production. Even the time I was going to school, the next day I was just told, you'll be going to school. Okay. And then I went and discovered that I'm going to do food production. And then after I started doing food production, and then I had interest in it. But my dad used to say he saw that in me the time I was very young. Because when it comes to baking, I knew how to bake a cake when I was about 9 years old, I would say it.
Wow. So it's something that is inborn.
Yes. It's inborn.
Okay, tell us more about Garros Outside Catering.
Okay, Garros Outside Catering is a small company. It is just run by myself. Yes. It's we are here in Ndola, although when it grows, we plan to move around Zambia. Okay.
So what are you specialized in?
Okay, Garros Outside Catering is in 2 categories. Yes, there's the catering parts and there's the supplying food.
Okay, so you're watching the Lounge Talk with Miss Sunita and I'm with Ngambu from Garros Outside Catering. We have all attended weddings, kitchen parties, and we have come back without even eating anything because there was shortage of food. And yet it was a planned event because the wedding is planned. We have been to funerals, we have eaten, even uninvited. Everyone is catered for. So that's the topic we are looking at today. Why is it at funerals everyone eats, everyone is catered for, but a wedding where there's a head count, there's shortage of food? So what has been the cause?
Okay, for weddings, I would say most of the time when you're planning a wedding, they give you a certain number. Maybe somebody will come and say, okay, cater for, maybe I would give an example of 300 people. Okay. Yes, so mostly for weddings, if somebody says 300 people and they only pay for 300 people, and then in our African, or let me say Zambian, yes, if you invite 300 people, you expect more than 300 people, yes. So mostly that's what happens. Mostly when somebody's organizing a wedding, they don't usually consider the extra number that will show up. So so most of that's what happens. And us as people who are offering that service,
Yes.
who follow the amount and the number you gave us. So most of the time, that's the reason why most people don't eat and go home without eating. It's because of the same arrangement.
Okay, so as Ngaros, what are some of the measures that you have put in place? Yes, so that there's no shortage, because you have a business to run and a reputation. Yes.
It's true. So okay, most of the time, what we usually do as Ngaros, when they give us maybe the way I explained, if somebody says cut up for 300 people, so what we mostly do, would advise them, we advise them, no, we can cut up for 300 people, but put maybe an extra of 20 people, so that at least we will manage to cut up for everybody. So that's what we do most of the time. We advise them. If you say 300, you know, our let me just say us Zambians, the way we are. Most people would want to follow, I need support, just like that, yes. So it happens like, so we advise our clients most of the time. That's what we do.
Okay, a wedding being an event where everyone is celebrating. So what is the menu?
Like a menu for a wedding.
For a wedding.
Okay, let me just say we don't have a section like, let me say one menu for a wedding. No. For a wedding, because people come with different varieties. They would say, maybe us make it traditional, us make it this, because us in the roads outside Katari, we have three menus, I would say. We have our tradition, which is the Zambian dishes. We also have the British dishes and the Asians. So sometimes what we do, we tell them to choose. You can choose what, or you can mix. Maybe it's a Zambian menu, you get something from there. You also mix maybe from British, you mix, and then we do a menu for you. Yes.
So what should be done? The bride, is it the brides, the organizers? What is it that should be done so that the invited guests, there's no shortage?
Okay, what they should do mostly, the way I even said it earlier on, is you consider an extra number. You say, maybe if you say wedding of 150 people, just say, put it 200 people. Because maybe if you make 150 cards, expect maybe people will be coming 3, or not the 2, because one card is 2 per card. Yes, so just consider maybe add a 50, and like that should be all right, and everybody will go home smiling. Yes.
Okay, you're watching the Lounge Talk with Miss Sonita, and I'm with Ngambu, the founder from Barros, outside catering. And we are looking at the way food is, you know, even the actual planning of food when it comes to weddings. Many invited guests, they don't eat because there's always a shortage. But at a funeral, everyone is served. So those are the major highlights that we are putting in place as to what happens. Why is it like this? So any message that you have to those that are planning, because even food is as important as a wedding dress.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Okay, if anybody is planning a wedding, or let me say organizing a wedding, yes, one thing they should consider is to look at our Zambian, is it culture, I would say? Yes, always look at how we were brought up, how it is in the neighborhood. Everybody wants to celebrate with you. So most of the time, if you are organizing a wedding, always consider the extra number. Just consider the extra number, and everybody will go home smiling. Everybody will have a meal. don't be, let me say, is it selfish? But just like, I only invite I only give the invited people. No, you should always consider everybody who has come to attend that wedding and make sure everybody gets a meal. Yes.
Because even you as those with the repetition,
yes,
those who have the company.
yes, because it goes back to us. They won't say it's the bride or the groom. No, they want to go back to us, and our company will have a bad name. They would say, well, maybe it was the company, they never wanted to provide that for us, something like that.
But have you ever found yourself in such a situation?
Let me say,
or as an invited?
Yes, yes, but not as for Ngaros outside. Not
so yes. As an invited?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Okay. Where you get to, you don't even have maybe a drink. Or maybe if the wedding had a menu of chicken, right, and everything, you won't have that piece of chicken. Yes, because of the number of people that, yes.
Then another question is, at what point should the bride, the groom, the organizers involve you as the catering crew? At what point? Maybe sometimes it's they are calling on you late.
Yes, and most of the time, most people do that. But I would say they should involve the catering part, the area, the time they just start planning the wedding. When you start planning the wedding, consider the catering part as well, so that you move together. Okay. Yes, because most of the time, most people do that. They would call you at an late stage. Yes. And then if they call you at an early stage, most of the things will be distorted, and few people have the meals, I would say. Yes.
Which one is the best idea? Who should buy that food? Those who will be doing the catering, like Ngaros, or the bride, the groom, the organizers, they buy and then they pay. Which one is better?
The best way, I would say, is for the catering company to buy the food and do everything. But sometimes even the bride and the groom, it's all right, because most people think if they had to give the company the money to get the food, they will spend more. But which is a good idea, because the company will sit down properly and make a budget properly about the food. Yes, than to the groom and the bride. Yes.
So mainly it's better for
those
who will be doing the catering, because you know which one should buy, what type of food should be bought. Okay. Some words, we call them takeaway words that you have for the brides, the grooms, the organizers, because at the end of it, or when you are invited, actually. You also need to be fed.
Yes,
we have a proverb in African where you say, so we all want to be fed there. Everyone who's invited there, at least should be appreciated in one way or the other. So what's some of the takeaway words that you have?
Okay, my takeaway words, I would say, because I even spoke about it earlier, about considering every person who's there, every person who came to celebrate with you. Just appreciate their presence and make sure every person gets a meal. Yes, I guess that's my advice for people planning weddings. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ngaros. As you can see, even that's the company law.
Yes.
It's growing. Everything starts small.
Small, yes, until we become
it grows.
big.
Everything becomes, it's a seed. Then it grows.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, this has been the Lounge Talk with Miss Sunita. I was with Ngambu Samalesu, the founder for Ngaros Outside Catering. She's ready to do all your catering. Help her grow. Be part of her business as she grows her business. every time we attend weddings, we want to be well fed because we were invited.
Yes.
If we can be fed at funerals, we should always be fed at weddings where we're invited. Everyone there knew that we'll go there. Just by giving us that invitation card, it speaks a lot. It speaks volume. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Goodbye.